Well, we know the players absolutely love the Australian Open. Good evening, Rod Laver Arena. I'm Shura Taft. This is Nat Edwards, and this is AO Extra coming to you live from on the court, giving you all the information as we head towards what is going to be a huge night of tennis. It's almost quarterfinals time. It's getting exciting.
It is indeed. Roger Federer up against Stefanos Tsitsipas, the next generation. Roger's got 99 titles. Tsitsipas won. You know, the new generation.
They share 100 titles,
I know, look at that.
Nice.
You can do maths.
Now, we've got cameras all over the Australian Open, as you know, because as the players come out onto court, we can see them. And Roger Federer is, well, he's coming to the game now. Let's have a look and see if we can see the players and where they're at. There they are walking through. So there's Roger. As you can see, Nat, they walk through and it's all very casual before a match.
There he is.
He's always very relaxed as he comes through this area.
Got a little bit of a strut. He is Roger after all.
He's Roger. Look, no entourage with him is interesting as he comes through underneath. He just looks like he is in a zone.
Oh, no accreditation.
Oh, hang on a sec.
Oh.
So the greatest of all time, Roger Federer, has been stopped by security. He doesn't have his pass.
Surely you know who Roger Federer is. Come on.
Now, that is a very efficient security guard if I've ever seen one. Nat Edwards. And now we are joined by former world number 4. And 10 years ago today, she stormed to a quarterfinal. Jelena Dokic, great to have you with us.
Thank you.
Has that ever happened to you, Jelena, been stopped by security without a pass?
I think it happens to everyone, as we just saw.
I can't believe that actually happened to you. Now, Shura just mentioned your quarterfinal here back in 2009, and obviously Ash has made her way through to her first quarterfinal at a Grand Slam. What are the emotions that someone like Ash Barty would be feeling?
Oh, it's special. I think it's a big difference whether you're in the 4th round or the quarterfinal, and she was able to get through that today, and it's her first quarterfinal ever at a Grand Slam, and for that to happen at home here in Australia, Australian Open is incredible.
And what is it like to play here at Melbourne Park, you know, quarterfinal with the crowd behind you?
Oh, look, it's special. I think whenever you play at home, whether that's just a regular tournament or Grand Slam, it's special. But to do it at a Grand Slam, like I said, it's incredible. And I called that match today. There was not a free seat in the house. It was incredible atmosphere, tight, you know, 3-set match. I went through something similar as well in my 4th round. I think it was like 9-7 in the 3rd or something. So, yeah, it's special to get through that and get to the quarters.
Now, Jelena, we've talked a lot about the fact this is the 50th anniversary of the Open era, and every year, I mean, we had Neil Fraser on, we've had other players, and they've recognised just how much it's changed. I mean, 50 years ago, it wasn't even here. For you, the first time you walked into Melbourne Park, it would have been a very different place.
Yeah, and my first time was in 1997, so 22 years ago, and it was very different, but they've done an incredible job with the Australian Open and just getting it better and better literally every year and setting the standards. And this year as well, I mean, the facilities, the player facilities and everything that we have, they really go, you know, up and above for the players to have everything.
How do you think you would have gone with Hawkeye? Do you look back at some of the games you play and go, you know what, if Hawkeye had been back then, I might have won a different game?
I actually like Hawkeye. I really do. I think it's, you know, brought a lot of those uncertainties and, you know, things are a lot cleaner and we don't have as many maybe tantrums. I don't know. But I like Hawkeye. Yeah.
We do see some of the players struggle with it though. Like Roger often gets them wrong.
He does. He doesn't like Hawkeye, and he's talked about it. But, yeah, I think it's been a great element to the game, both for the spectators, players, TV, and everybody. It just really brings another level to tennis.
Now, we touched on the fact that 10 years ago, you came back to the sport and you stormed into the quarterfinal, and you took on a player who is still playing to this very day, very young, Caroline Wozniacki. Let's have a look at Jelena in action 10 years ago.
It was one of the most heartbreaking and heartwarming stories in the 104-year history of the Australian Open. Jelena Dokic, the Yugoslav-born Aussie who turned her back on her new country in 2001, made it through to the main draw after winning the one.
You weren't quite as jumpy as that when you were out there back there playing, but we get the idea. What are your memories of that moment? Because firstly, you look like a child. You look very young.
Well, thank you for that. Doesn't make me feel good now.
Oh, you still look like a child.
No, I mean, look, it was great memories, obviously, and again, just to make it to the quarterfinals here at home at the Australian Open, and I had so much support through every single match, and it got bigger and bigger and bigger. So very obviously honoured and proud to have done that, and even the quarters that I lost in a very tight 3-set match to Dinara Safina, it was you know, an incredible experience, and glad to be part of it.
All right, well, I think we're going to do take 2 on some Jelena Dokic highlights.
It was one of the most heartbreaking and heartwarming stories in the 104-year history of the Australian Open. Jelena Dokic, the Yugoslav-born Aussie who turned her back on a new country in 2001, made it through to the main draw after winning the wildcard playoff. What happened next could never have been scripted. The 25-year-old took out 3 seeds. Number 17, Anna Shakvatadze in the second round. Then the number 11 seed, Caroline Wozniacki in the third round.
And the dream leads on.
It's really a miracle for me. It's really emotional to win today. It's really what I had to go through. It's really great to have this win, and I don't think a lot of people know what it means to me.
In the quarterfinal and on the verge of history, she faced Dinara Safina. Levelling at 4 games all in the third set, another win seemed possible. But this time, it wasn't to be.
The fairy tale comes to an end. What a ride it's been for Jelena Dokic.
Dokic may not have won the women's title, but she won the hearts and minds of Australians and tennis fans worldwide.
Can you take yourself back there, just watching that? Can you still feel the emotion from that night?
Oh, absolutely. And yeah, every time I think I walk out here in Rod Laver, and even when I'm commentating or in the bunker, yeah, I've got those memories, and yeah, it's special. It's something that will, you know, stay with me forever, and something that will always be there. So yeah, very glad to have something like that and to have played it here.
We know that you were obviously thrust onto the world stage at a really young age, at 16 years of age, and we've seen Amanda Anisimova from America, as well as Diana Yastremska, who are teenagers. I mean, what is that like at such a young age, playing on the tour and playing these big matches in front of big crowds?
Well, I think they're probably in a pretty good position, actually, because they have no pressure on them, and it's so new. And when you're young, you kind of don't know what's going on yet. Later, things start to settle in, and you start to feel the pressure. So when you're young, things are really good, and you don't have to really worry about that. But you know, they've both done well, especially Amanda, and a lot of people talking about her. And yeah, I think definitely potentially a Grand Slam champion very time soon.
Who are the players you like to watch now? Who are the players you just, you know, when they come out on court, you go, I'm going to enjoy this?
Look, I think there's a lot of players, both in the women's tennis and the men's tennis. I mean, look at the quality of tennis we had today and what's still coming up tonight. So it's really exciting, these 4th round matches, and you know, for Ash as well, to have played Sharapova today and now to play Kvitova in the quarters. So yeah, a lot of incredible talent out there. I always like to watch the younger players as well, see who's coming through. And men's tennis, obviously, I think we're still so lucky to have Federer and Nadal playing, and I always love to watch them, and you know, they're not going to be out there, unfortunately, forever, so you got to make you know, the best of that, and watch them as much as we can.
On Federer taking on Tsitsipas tonight, your thoughts on the game?
Yeah, very interesting one. Everyone's really looking forward to that. They play a little bit similar. Yeah, obviously Federer being the clear favourite, but yeah, should be a great match, and I'm really excited to watch Tsitsipas. I've never really watched him closely or watched him live, so looking forward to it.
It should be an electric night here in Rod Laver. You guys are in for a treat here on centre court as people trickle down. Jelena, we'd love you to stick around because we want your thoughts on the next match as well. But as mentioned, we've got some pre-match entertainment that's going to start very shortly. You're going to enjoy that, and then we're going to a big game between Federer and Tsitsipas, and this is how it's shaping up.
He's a legend of our sport. I'm gonna have to play my best, obviously, game. If I think about it now, it's insane that I'm in this position where I can actually play him.
Wow, that's something special from Tsitsipas. I think it's going to be a good one. You know, I like how he mixes up his game and also comes to the net. So will I, and I think we'll see some athletic attacking tennis.
Oh, it's just incredible.
It's not easy to play this kind of players that you've been watching for so long, and mentally you have to be much stronger than any other match that you have faced.
It's a gutsy move.
I saw him before I went out, you know, really defending well. Yeah, I'm happy for him, he's playing so well, and I'm looking forward to the matchup with him.
Well, Rod Laver, we hope you're entertained and ready for a big night of tennis entertainment. My name is Shura Taft, Nat Edwards, and we are joined by Jelena Dokic here on AO Extra down on the actual court itself. And we're excited because we're going to see a huge match between Roger Federer and Stefanos Tsitsipas. But of course, the Australian Open, there's so much to see and do. It expands every year. They're making this area so great. As we said before, Jelena, it just grows every year. And there's a lot of action for the fans to see. Check out all the things that people have been up to over this period. Well, it's fair to say the stage at the AO Live site has been going off. Bastille have played, Dean Lewis, Conrad Sewell. You were saying, Jelena, Craig David's coming.
Yeah, on Friday.
I'm walking away. I love it.
You know what, 97 when you were starting your career, that's about the time that Born to Do It came out, Rendezvous, Walking Away.
Yeah, it was some of the first songs I ever heard. So.
Did you pump up, were you a pump up music kind of player?
We didn't really have that at a time. That kind of came later, but a little bit, not really, but I know Craig David and listened to a little bit of his songs, and we all heard he was coming, so really excited about that.
Well, check out, Jelena Dokic might be front row at centre when Craig David comes to down in a few days.
Now let's talk about the second match here on Rod Laver Arena. Sloane Stephens, obviously a US Open champion back in 2017. She's taking on Anastasia Pavlyuchenkova, who dropped in the rankings last year. She was ranked as high as 15, but now 44 in the world. How do you see this matchup?
Yeah, this will be a tough one, and Pavlyuchenkova a lot better player than 44 in the world, especially now, and here in the fourth round of a Grand Slam. So this potentially could be a tough one, similar game styles. And Sloane didn't have a great start to the year, but has done really well here at the Australian Open again, and in the fourth round now. And she's always dangerous when she gets into those later stages of tournaments, especially Grand Slams. And like you said, winning that US Open title in 2017, but also making the Roland Garros final last year.
Yeah,
can we make you be brave enough to make a little prediction for this one?
You're really pushing.
Yeah, I want to push you.
Yeah, I'll go with Sloane Stephens.
Sloane Stephens,
yeah.
In 2 or 3?
I think there'll be 3 sets.
3 sets. Tell us, though, in terms of commentary, you know, you step out of the game, you step away from the game for a little while, and you come back and you start commentating. Is it a challenge? Do you have to go and relearn things, or are you just happy just to go with what you know of the game?
You always have to learn, and you always have to grow and become better. So it was a real eye-opener for me because I got to do a lot of different things. Commentary is completely different to playing tennis, believe it or not. But it's still that kind of knowledge and ins and outs and the technical and tactical aspect and mental as well, which I really love. But yeah, I've had to, learn, grow, and I still am. You always are. It's something where you really need to practice, and you really get better the more that you do it. So it's great. I love it. Really lucky to have the opportunity to do it and to be a part of the 9 commentary team this year, and to have had that opportunity and done it last year with TA as well, which was great. So yeah, I'm really excited to have that opportunity.
Well, you sound fantastic. Ladies and gentlemen of Rod Laver Arena, can you put your hands together for Jelena Dokic, our AO legend? It's so great to have you with us.
Thank you.
They love you, we love you.
Thank you.
And you're remembered very, very fondly, especially because 10 years ago to this day, you were here on quarter-final time. Now, everyone's excited now because Roger Federer is about to step on court against Tsitsipas. It's going to be a huge game of tennis. Who wins?
Oh, no. Federer.
Federer for mine.
I'm going for Tsitsipas. I want to see a little underdog get through. Either way, ladies and gentlemen, this has been AO Extra. We're going to head down now because the players are almost ready to come out on court for the night match here on Rod Laver Arena.